All right, let's crack this one open. Case file #400alpha, the Alchemical Metamorphosis. Our subject? Well, they were found in a state of, let's just say, profound spiritual stagnation. Let's dig into the initial report.
So, the first field report describes this figure on their knees, but not praying. No, this was someone completely crushed by a weight you couldn't even see. It's that look of utter exhaustion from just performing your own life, you know? The file calls them a stargazer, lost in the dream of the weary, always looking for answers up there, everywhere except right here.
The file actually gives this first stage a name, the camel. It's the spirit that just says yes to everything. It obediently carries all the invisible scripts of society, the polite smiles, the things you're supposed to believe, all while its lungs are just filling with the soot of it all. It's a prison, but a comfortable one built on the theology of comfort, where you know the truth, but you ignore it because it's just easier.
So how does the camel even navigate the world? Well, it's tethered to this golden compass of external judgment. Its eyes are always locked upwards, always looking for a nod of approval from these celestial ghosts, from some silent judge in the sky. You're basically living your whole life for an audience that might not even be watching.
But then, the case file takes a really sharp turn. Act 2. The intervention. Something, or, well, someone, shows up and completely shatters this quiet misery.
The catalyst is this figure called the Uncanny Wanderer. They don't just walk in. They appear like a jagged shadow, and they see the camel for what it is, a case of terminal dependency. And this wanderer, they're not here to offer a shoulder to cry on. Nope, they're here to force a confrontation.
And what do? They shatter the golden compass. This isn't some gentle suggestion. The file calls it a Dionysian rupture, a messy, chaotic, violent blast of honesty that just breaks the spell. And with that, the subject is shoved onto an inverted journey. They're not looking up to the stars anymore. Now they're forced to look inward, into the total chaos of the self.
The Wanderer's demand is as simple as it is brutal. Abandon the celestial parlor. It's over. It's time to face the grit of reality, to step into what the file ominously calls the uncanny forest, a place where all those comfortable illusions just wither and die.
Now, an intervention like that, it's going to trigger a pretty intense reaction. So let's flip to Act 3 and see how this plays out, the rebellion.
The spirit undergoes what the report describes as an alchemical combustion. The quiet, obedient camel? It's gone, and in its place is the lion, a crimson destroyer whose whole reason for being is summed up in one powerful phrase: I will it. It's not about asking for permission anymore, it's about taking it. I mean, just look at the contrast here. It couldn't be more stark. Where the camel found comfort in just doing what it was told, the lion finds its freedom in tearing things down. It's trading external judgment for its own, powerful will. This is a spirit of pure negation, finally ripping down the prison walls that the camel just learned to live with.
But this path of destruction, it leads the lion straight to its biggest fight yet. Welcome to Act 4, the Dark Mirror.
So what's actually waiting for the lion in that uncanny forest? It's not some monster out there in the woods, no. The report says it's a liminal space, a place where the phony light of the stars gets replaced by something way older, something more primal, the shadow of Wotan. And there, the lion finally meets its own reflection, the verdant dragon. This is it, the final boss. It's the ultimate antagonist, the embodiment of absolute negation, the spirit that always denies. This dragon, it represents the 10,000 hells of self-inflicted lies that the subject has been dragging around all this time. And this confrontation leads to something the file calls ignoble knowledge. It's that awful, agonizing moment of clarity when you see every single mask you've ever worn, every lie you've told yourself just to feel in control. Yeah, it hurts, a lot. But it's the only thing that keeps the soul from just burning out into nothing.
After all that destruction, something new has to rise from the ashes. Let's look at the final transformation. Act 5, the rebirth.
From the wreckage of that battle with the dragon, a totally new form emerges, the child. Now, this isn't about going back to being innocent or naive. Far from it. This is the creator arriving on the scene. Think about it. The camel said yes to everything. The lion said no to everything. The child represents a sacred yes to life, but on its own terms.
The child's power is all about creation, not obedience.
It doesn't follow the old rulebook. It writes a new one, using its own pain and its own joy as the ink. It becomes a self-propelled wheel, meaning it doesn't need anyone to push it anymore. Its laughter just cuts right through all that old, stuffy, ceremonial certainty. This is it. This is the internal fire of mastery.
And so we come to the end of the file, the final chapter, Act 6, the verdict.
So let's just quickly recap this whole incredible transformation. It starts with the burdened camel, moves through the destructive lion, and ends with the creative child. Each step was a crucial, alchemical reaction, leading to the subject's final undeniable state.
And the final verdict? The subject's status is officially updated to Sovereign of the Soil. They're no longer a stargazer looking up at the sky for answers. They're being totally grounded in the hard, real iron of existence. They have finally walked away from that silent judge in the stars. For good.
The subject's power now is active, not passive. They are the lightning that strikes through the silence. Their identity isn't tied to some celestial ghosts anymore. It's rooted in the real, physical blood of ancestors. They've become their own source of authority, standing on their own ground.
Which, of course, brings us to the final haunting question the file leaves us with. This journey of overcoming yourself, it never really stops, does it? Now that they've achieved this sovereignty, this mastery of their own ground, where do they go from here? What's next? Well, that's something to think about.